Have you ever had this amazing idea, a project you're super passionate about, but you just get stuck? Stuck planning and researching and tweaking and never actually starting? Yeah, you're not alone. So many of us get trapped by this fear that if it's not perfect, it's a failure. Well, today, we're going to talk about a way to completely break that cycle. And this quote from Tran, the author of our source material, just nails it. Success isn't about having the perfect plan. It's not about waiting for all the stars to align. It's about getting your hands dirty. It's about doing, and yeah, sometimes failing, but learning from it and building momentum.
All right, so let's get into the main villain of our story here, the paralysis of perfection. This is that little voice in your head that says, hey, if you can't do it flawlessly, maybe you shouldn't do it at all.
And this right here, this is what's known as analysis paralysis. You think and overthink so much, you're so scared of making a mistake, that you end up doing nothing. It's a total cognitive trap. It's not about having high standards. It's a cycle of fear that keeps your best ideas locked up, collecting dust. So where does this intense fear even come from? I mean, we're not born being afraid to try stuff, right? Well, let's dig into the powerful forces all around us that have shaped our, let's say, complicated relationship with failure. Think about it. Pretty much our whole lives, we're taught that failure is bad. In school, you get a bad grade. That's a punishment. At work, you're told that perfect execution is what gets you promoted. And then there's social media, which is basically a nonstop parade of everyone else's greatest hits. It creates this pressure cooker where taking a risk feels like you're setting yourself up for public humiliation. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. What's the cure? It's a pretty radical idea, actually. It's about completely reframing what failure even means. It's time to talk about the fail fast mindset. Now, let's be super clear here. Failing fast does not mean you're supposed to enjoy messing up. Of course not. It's a strategy. It's about acting quickly so you can get real-world data, real feedback. Every so-called failure is just a piece of information telling you what doesn't work, which is, believe it or not, one of the quickest ways to find out what does. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got two paths. On the left, there's endless planning. It feels safe, but where does it lead? Paralysis, anxiety, missed chances. But on the right, you have rapid action. Yeah, it feels a little riskier, but look at the results. You get real feedback, you build momentum, and you gain confidence that you can only get from actually doing something. And hey, this isn't just some nice theory. The idea that failure is actually a critical ingredient for success, well, it's been proven over and over again by some of the most successful people and companies in history. I mean, come on, Michael Jordan, you can't get much bigger than that. And listen to what he says. He doesn't see his success in spite of his failures. He sees it as a direct result of them. Every single one of those 9,000 missed shots was a lesson. It was data that fueled him to get better. And here's Thomas Edison with maybe the most famous reframe of all time. He didn't see failure. He just saw a process of elimination. Each of those 10,000 wrong ways was a necessary step to find the one right way. That is the fail-fast mindset in a nutshell. Or how about this one? J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter manuscript got rejected 12 times. 12. Can you imagine getting that 12th rejection letter? If she had let that failure stop her, one of the biggest cultural phenomenons of our time would just not exist. It's such a powerful reminder that sometimes perseverance is the only thing standing between a good idea and a massive success. And it's not just individuals. The most innovative companies on the planet are built on this idea. SpaceX, their first 3 rockets literally blew up. Instead of calling it quits, they treated each explosion as an incredibly valuable lesson. And Dropbox, before they spent millions building the whole thing, they just made a simple video to see if anyone even wanted it. They were willing to fail fast and small to make sure they could succeed big. Okay, so this is all really inspiring stuff for, billionaires and sports legends. But what does it mean for the rest of us in our everyday lives? The secret is to stop obsessing about these giant leaps and start focusing on the incredible power of small, consistent wins. This right here is so important. We get so intimidated by our huge goals, but real long-term success rarely comes from one single heroic act. It's all about the compounding effect, kind of like compound interest for your personal growth. Small daily actions that might feel insignificant at first, but over time, they build into this unstoppable momentum. So how do you actually start building this muscle for taking action? The source material gives us these 3 brilliantly simple daily habits. First, make your bed. It's not about being neat, it's about starting your day with a task you've already completed, a win. Second, wash your dishes. This prevents those little annoying tasks from piling up and draining your mental energy. And third, track one win. At the end of the day, just acknowledge one thing you accomplished, no matter how tiny. This trains your brain to look for progress, which creates this amazing positive feedback loop. These aren't just chores, they're practice. You're building the identity of a person who gets things done.
So, we've talked a lot about the theory, but as we've learned, theory without action is pretty much useless. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget about the 5-year plan, forget about perfection. What is one small, simple action you are going to take today to move forward?